the giant squid. We're gonna send cameras down there, where few humans have ever been.
Watch everybody!
You thought the deep ocean was just dark water and weird fish? Think again. Down there lie ancient cities, creatures no one believed existed, and natural forces that could freeze life in seconds. From a frozen finger of death to a squid with eyes the size of dinner plates. This is the stuff of nightmares and wonder. But trust me, you will be shocked when you see what's waiting at the end. Number 20. The frozen finger of death. Ever heard of the frozen finger of death? Sounds fake, but it's real. Known as a brinacle, this ice formation can freeze creatures on contact. First seen in the 60s, but finally filmed in 2011 near Antarctica.
They had to swim under the ice, set up their big heavy cameras, and then film this, a brinacle. It's a heavy column of colder than water brine that sinks to the ocean floor and freezes everything around it.
Here's how it works. When sea ice forms, it releases super salty, super cold water. That dense water plunges down, freezing everything around it, creating an icy tube that reaches the seafloor.
And I was really fascinated. It said that there were these ice formations that grew down from the ice, from the surface ice, remarkably quickly, but no one had really seen the growth of them.
Once it touches bottom, starfish and sea urchins are flash frozen. The BBC's footage shows this haunting effect in action. Some tabloids dubbed it the underwater icicle of death, fueling myths about alien forces. But no, it's a natural process. In 2023, scientists from Columbia and Lawrence Livermore built computer models of brinacle growth. Andrew Thurber from Oregon State called brinicles incredibly delicate but deadly to small sea life. Nature's own slow-motion death trap, rare but mesmerizing. Speaking of death traps, what you'll see next takes creepy to a whole new level. Number 19. Colossal squid. On March 9, 2025, scientists aboard the research ship Falkor 2 sent a robotic submarine named Sebastian about 2,000 feet down. Out of nowhere, the robot's lights caught something drifting by, a tiny 1-foot-long squid. This wasn't just any squid. It was a juvenile colossal squid, Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni. Before this, we'd only seen dead ones, washed ashore or in whale stomachs. Now, it was swimming free. Scientists Kat Bolstad and Aaron Evans nearly lost it. Aaron even said, "I started hyperventilating, spotting the freaky hooks on its arms. Oh, and its eyes? Nearly 16 inches wide, the largest of any animal."
We have a chance here to see an animal nobody has seen at large sizes alive before, where it belongs, and that has no idea that humans even exist.
That helps them see prey in total darkness. Proof these legendary giants really do live out there. But the ocean isn't just about rare squid. This next ocean find also caused a lot of confusion. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, go ahead and run that up now. Number 18. The deadly Portuguese man-o'-war. In 2020, deep-sea researchers off Western Australia spotted a massive spiral-shaped creature about 2,000 feet deep. People called it a Portuguese man-o'-war, but that wasn't true. What they saw was a siphonophore, specifically from the genus Apolemia. Real Portuguese man-o'-wars float at the surface with gas-filled sails and venomous tentacles up to 100 feet long. They sting painfully and can even cause lasting injury. But this deep-sea siphonophore was a different beast entirely, an enormous colonial organism made of specialized parts. It wasn't floating, it was drifting gracefully in the deep. The confusion spread fast online, mixing facts and myths. Some even claimed this deep creature was a giant man-o'-war. Nope. Though closely related, it wasn't the classic surface species, Phasalia physalis. The deep-sea spiral was a rare and awe-inspiring discovery, reminding us that there are entire branches of life down there we barely understand. Not a deadly man-o'-war, but something just as strange. But wait, if you think underwater structures are simple rock piles, think again. Number 17, Japan's Lost Atlantis. In 1986, Japanese diver Kihachiro Aratake made an incredible discovery near Yonaguni Island.
His name's Mr. Aratake, and he is the man who first laid eyes on this structure, and indeed in his own right is something of a local diving legend.
Under 82 feet of water, he found a giant stepped rock formation that looked like a sunken pyramid. The site was huge, 165 feet long, 80 feet wide, and rising 82 feet tall. It became known as Japan's Atlantis. Geologist Masaki Kimura believed it could be over 10,000 years old, built when sea levels were lower. He suggested ancient people constructed it, and maybe linked it to the mythical continent of Mu.
Thousands of miles from here, off the coast of Japan, some believe they have found evidence of another lost kingdom.
But skeptics like Robert Schoch argued the formation is just natural sandstone shaped by earthquakes and erosion. Sharp angles and steps, they said, happen naturally in seismic zones. Flint Dibble called it pure natural. Still, standing underwater surrounded by these perfect-looking steps, well, it's hard not to wonder. A lost civilization? Or nature's eerie handiwork? The truth remains hotly debated to this day. And speaking of eerie creatures, let's talk about a floating chicken. Number 16, headless chicken sea cucumber. The headless chicken sea cucumber, or Enypniastes eximia, is one of the strangest deep-sea animals out there.
What is?
That's
another one?
the headless chicken one.
Yeah, that's a. I'd say it's the chicken one.
Known since 1882, but rarely seen alive, until 2017. A deep-sea camera in the Gulf of Mexico finally captured it, revealing a pink, see-through body that glows softly when disturbed. Then, in 2018, Australian researchers filmed another near Antarctica at nearly 2 miles deep. Unlike typical sea cucumbers that crawl along the seabed, this one swims. It uses little webbed fins to paddle gracefully, floating just above the ocean floor. The nickname, Headless Chicken Monster, stuck because, well, it looks exactly like a plucked chicken drifting in space.
There's something strange in the water in the Antarctic Ocean.
And researchers are calling it a headless chicken monster.
It also goes by Spanish dancer due to its swaying motion. These creatures live all over the world, between depths of 1,600 feet to nearly 20,000 feet. Though we've spotted a few on camera, there's still so much we don't know. Proof the deep sea is full of surprises. And if you think that's weird, how about invisible fish? Number 15, transparent fish, Leptocephalus. Leptocephali are the transparent larvae of eels. For decades, they puzzled scientists. In 1904, Johannes Schmidt captured one near the Faroe Islands, launching wild myths about these see-through creatures. Some thought they grew on the ocean floor or were born from rock candy. It wasn't until 1893 that French zoologist Yves Delage proved they were eel babies. Later studies by Giovanni Grassi and modern researchers confirmed leptocephali live in open water, not on the seabed. In fact, they migrate up and down through the water column daily, staying between 100 and 1,100 feet deep. In 2020, NOAA even found rare leptocephali with orange spots living over 5,000 feet down. But despite their ghostly appearance, these aren't mythical floor dwellers. They're simply baby eels, adapted to a drifting, transparent life in the twilight zone of the ocean. Yet another example of how facts often outshine the wildest ocean myths. And now, one of the ocean's most famous mysteries. Number 14, the bloop. In the summer of 1997, NOAA microphones captured a mysterious, thunderous sound in the South Pacific, so loud it was recorded by sensors over 3,000 miles apart. They called it the bloop. The deep rising sound had no obvious source and was louder than any known animal. NOAA's Christopher Fox even joked it might come from a creature more powerful than any animal on Earth. Theories exploded online. Gigantic squids, secret submarines, even Lovecraft's Cthulhu. For years, no one knew the truth. Then in 2012, NOAA linked the sound to icequakes, massive icebergs cracking near Antarctica. Seismologist Robert Ziak confirmed the match. The bloop was the sound of icebergs fracturing, not monsters. Today, it stands as proof of how easily the deep sea sparks our imagination, and how nature's forces can mimic even the most terrifying of myths. But sometimes, what we find underwater is all too human. Number 13. Chuuk Lagoon, World War II Fleet, Micronesia. In 1969, legendary explorer Jacques Cousteau filmed one of the ocean's eeriest graveyards, Chuuk Lagoon in Micronesia. During World War II, this lagoon held a major Japanese fleet. But in February 17 and 18, 1944, the U.S. launched Operation Hailstone, sinking more than 40 Japanese ships and destroying 250 aircraft. The lagoon became known as Japan's Pearl Harbor. Cousteau's documentary revealed ghostly wrecks perfectly preserved in the lagoon's still waters. Since then, divers have explored over 50 major shipwrecks, giant cargo ships, oil tankers, and warships, now teeming with marine life.
There's been a difference in the ships between a tanker, say, a cargo ship, and a warship, and then the airplanes were very nice.
In 2018, Project Recover used sonar to locate 3 lost American planes, bringing closure to families after decades. Marine biologist Becky Kagan-Schott called diving here like entering a time capsule. Myths swirl around the lagoon, tales of cursed ships and a sunken island named Wanip. But experts confirm Chuuk Lagoon is a tragic, yet real, underwater museum. And still, the ocean holds even older secrets, whole cities lost beneath the waves. Number 12. Thonis Heraklion. In 2000, French underwater archaeologist Frank Godiot made a stunning discovery: the ancient Egyptian port city of Thonis Heraklion, long thought mythical. Using sonar and magnetometers off Abu Qir Bay, Egypt,
they're the secrets of ancient Egypt, which for thousands of years lay submerged beneath the Mediterranean. The treasures belong to 2 sunken cities which were thought to be the stuff of myth.
His team found colossal statues, sunken ships, and massive temple ruins lying beneath the seabed. The city sank around 100 BC after an earthquake and rising seas. Before its rediscovery, Thonis Heraklion existed only in old texts, earning it the nickname Egypt's Atlantis. Godiot's team recovered 70 ships, 5-meter statues, coins from Alexander the Great's era, and everyday artifacts frozen in time. The highlight? A massive granite stele with hieroglyphs confirming the city's identity. Myths about curses or alien involvement soon spread online, but experts clarified the sinking was caused by natural forces. By 2021, only 5% of the site had been explored, hinting at even more hidden beneath the silt. Godiot described seeing hieroglyphs emerge underwater as a Raiders of the Lost Ark moment. Sometimes the ocean doesn't just swallow history, it preserves it perfectly. And speaking of sunken tragedies, number 11. MV Derbyshire Wreck, Pacific. The MV Derbyshire was Britain's largest merchant ship when it vanished in 1980 during Typhoon Orchid.
He received 3 weather reports, one from Guam, one from Tokyo, and one from Hong Kong, and each one had given Typhoon Orchid a different location.
The 91,000-ton vessel disappeared without a distress call. For 14 years, families demanded answers. Then in 1994, Maritime explorer David Mearns located the wreck nearly 14,000 feet deep off Okinawa. Over 2,500 artifacts were photographed. Investigators found the ship had suffered structural failure when massive waves damaged ventilators and flooded cargo holds. This caused catastrophic implosion under intense pressure. Myths of sabotage or explosion circulated.
And that energy release was probably equivalent to many tons of TNT.
But in 2000, an official inquiry absolved the crew, confirming natural forces caused the disaster. The tragedy led to 22 international safety reforms for bulk carriers. Today, the Derbyshire lies as a grim lesson beneath the Pacific, its loss spurring changes that have since saved countless lives. The sea takes, but it also teaches. And sometimes it shows us creatures like the barrel-eye fish we never imagined seeing alive. Number 10. Barrel-eye fish. The barrel-eye fish had been known since 1939, but only as dead specimens with tubular eyes and a transparent head. Finally, in 2004, MBARI scientists filmed one alive off Monterey Bay, hovering around 2,000 feet deep.
The Monterey Bay Aquarium and Dive Team experienced a rare sighting of a unique fish with a see-through head. It's known as a barrel-eye fish.
The fish's glowing green eyes peered through its clear dome-shaped head, fixed upward to spot prey. Then in 2008, scientists revealed it could rotate its eyes downward, perfect for hunting. Myths quickly labeled it an alien fish or glass-headed monster.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way are we seeing this? There's nothing out there that looks like this animal.
But this strange design allows the barrel eye to spot faint silhouettes of prey while staying protected beneath jellyfish stingers. It even steals food from siphonophores. MBARI's Bruce Robison noted they've only spotted it 9 times in over 5,000 deep dives, proving just how elusive this creature is. Sometimes fact really is weirder than fiction. And if you think a fish with rotating eyes is strange, wait until you see a squid that walks. Number 9. Big fin squid. In September 2024, scientists lowered a camera nearly 11,000 feet into the Tonga Trench. There, they captured the first footage of a big fin squid walking along the seafloor.
So they had a camera deep under this oil rig, and they spotted this thing with these insane long appendages.
Its body floated while tentacles, over 13 feet long, gently touched the ground like spindly legs.
Look at this.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's different. That's not what I thought you were talking about.
Look at the length of those. What are those things that dangle from it? What'd you call those things?
Tentacles? Legs?
Tentacles, legs.
Until now, big fin squid sightings were mostly grainy, distant footage, nothing clear. And the myths? Oh, they spread fast. Some claimed big fins reached 26 feet or skittered across the seafloor like spiders. Reality? Stranger. The squid's walking was slow, deliberate, almost graceful. Big fins live in the coldest, darkest parts of the ocean, sometimes deeper than 20,000 feet. No one has ever captured a full-grown adult, and most sightings involve juveniles. This footage gave scientists their clearest look yet at how these elusive creatures behave. Rather than swimming freely, big fins sometimes explore the seabed this way, possibly searching for food. And the deep holds more than just strange creatures. It hides ancient human stories too. Number 8. The lost city of Atlit Yam. In 1984, marine archaeologist Ehud Galili was scanning the seafloor off Atlit, Israel. Just a few hundred meters offshore, about 8 to 12 meters deep. He spotted something that didn't belong. Walls, stones, structures. Carbon dating of plant remains nailed it. This place was from 6,900 to 6,300 BCE. It was pre-pottery Neolithic B era. Divers uncovered a stone well, rectangular homes, hearths, and 7 huge megaliths, each weighing 600 kilograms, surrounding a sacred spring.
Around the structure, we have huge slabs weighing a few hundred kilograms each, and on them there are tens of cup marks.
Inside were axes, sickles, hooks, seeds of wheat and figs, even 6,000 fish bones.
Atlet yam is like a missing link in terms of showing us how some groups would have made this transition from strictly hunting-gathering to sedentary agriculture.
But here was the kicker: 90 human graves, including the oldest known cases of tuberculosis, and skeletons with ear damage, diving injuries from cold water. Why did it vanish? A massive tsunami, likely triggered by an Etna collapse, sent a 40-meter wave through the region, wiping it out. Of course, some called it Israel's Atlantis, but Galili said the evidence told the real story. Number 7. The Gulf of Mexico's shipwreck. Fast forward to 2011. Shell Oil was mapping the seafloor and spotted something weird, an 84-foot by 26-foot shape sitting 4,363 feet deep. The next year, NOAA's Okeanos Explorer sent down its ROV. What it found stunned scientists.
When the ROV hits the floor and cruises up to this particular site, and we lay our eyes on the shipwreck for the first time, we're astounded. We're excited.
Copper-sheathed hull sections, anchors, cannons, a ship's stove, glass bottles, ceramic plates, and even muskets. Marine archaeologist Jack Irian noted, "This stove, almost never seen in Gulf wrecks." NOAA's Frank Cantellas added, "It was over 200 miles offshore, one of the deepest preserved wooden wrecks in U.S. waters." In 2013, ROV Hercules mapped the site and revealed 3 distinct wrecks in the area. The ship's identity remained unknown, but its cargo suggested it had played a role in the War of 1812 or early Gulf trade.
Because what we're looking at is a largely intact ship, almost a mile deep in the Gulf of Mexico, and it was just mind-blowing.
And here was why it was still intact. The copper sheathing and deep sediment preserved it like a time capsule. Number 6. Solomon Islands Cathedral Coral. Now for something alive. On October 2024, National Geographic's Pristine Seas team, led by Manu Sanfelix, was diving off Malaulalo Island. They spotted what looked like a shipwreck. Wrong. It was a living coral, Pavona clavis. The thing was massive, 112 feet long, 105 feet wide, almost 5 meters high. Circumference? 600 feet. Based on coral growth rates, it was at least 300 years old, possibly 500, dating back to the 1600s. And it was made up of nearly 1 billion individual polyps. Yet it was one single living organism. Enric Sala said it best. Just when we think there's nothing left to discover, we find this. Manu Sanfelix called the moment emotional, respect for a coral that had survived centuries. Some said you could see it from space, and with its size, they might not have been wrong. Number 5, whale shark. Deep below the surface, life ended and began again. About a decade ago, scientists observed a first, a whale shark carcass sinking to about 1,000 meters deep. It attracted a unique crowd. Eelpouts arrived first, boring into the soft cartilage. Strangely, the usual bone-eating Osedax worms were missing. The shark's cartilage lacked the structure and fat they needed. Instead, a new kind of ecosystem formed, scavengers feasting on this giant, recycling its nutrients. Of course, wild stories popped up, giant sea monsters, secret predators. But scientists made it clear, this was a natural event, a rare one, but perfectly normal. And it revealed something crucial. Even massive sharks became the foundation for deep-sea life. Number 4, Xucheng, or Lion City. Now to China. In 1959, the government built the Xinan River Dam, flooding a valley and creating Qiandao Lake. Gone beneath the waves, Xucheng, the Lion City. Founded in 621 AD during the Tang Dynasty, Xucheng had boasted 5 gates, 265 arches, carved lions, dragons, and phoenixes. It had thrived for over 1,000 years. 300,000 people were relocated. The city sank beneath 85 to 131 feet of water and was largely forgotten. In 2001, divers rediscovered it. What they found was stunning. Walls, carvings, even wooden beams, perfectly preserved. Clean water, no sunlight, no currents. It had created a natural vault. Some called it China's Atlantis. But here was the truth. It was no myth. It was a planned flood, recorded in history. The preservation? That was nature's part in the story. Number 3. Box jellyfish.
The death of a 17-year-old boy from a box jellyfish sting near Bamaga on Cape York has left a community in mourning and raised questions over whether more can be done to prevent these tragic incidents.
Box jellyfish were thought to lurk in warm, shallow waters, right? Well, in 2015, researchers from Australia's Kimberley Marine Research Program shattered that idea. Using towed video cameras and seabed sleds, the team recorded 64 Chironex box jellyfish living between 39 and 56 meters deep near northwest Australian reefs. That was way deeper than anyone had expected. In just one 1,500-meter tow, they had spotted dozens, no longer drifting near the surface. These jellyfish were actively hunting near the seabed, likely chasing small fish and crustaceans.
The box jellyfish is the world's most venomous animal. So right there, it tells you that we're dealing with a horrifically dangerous species.
Of course, myths spread. Were box jellyfish secretly lurking where divers dared not go? But scientists quickly shut that down. This was simply new behavior, not some hidden menace. Still, it changed the game. These deadly jellyfish were no longer limited to sunlit waters. They had range, and that made encounters with them a little more unpredictable. Number 2. Deep-sea anglerfish. On November 2014, Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute had sent its ROV into the Monterey Canyon. Around 600 meters deep, the cameras locked onto something straight out of a nightmare, a black sea devil anglerfish.
Finally tonight, some marine researchers were out looking for sharks the other day off the Canary Islands when they found something quite unexpected.
Have a look at this. This is a humpback anglerfish.
Wide jaws, semi-transparent skin, and that eerie glowing lure, it all played out on video. But that hadn't been the first anglerfish surprise. Back in 2004, MBARI had filmed another species, Chaunacops coloratus, at 2,600 meters. This one didn't drift. It walked across the seafloor using fin-like limbs. Scientists had never seen that before. Myths loved this footage. Alien fish, monsters of the deep. But researchers like Bruce Robison and Lonnie Lunston emphasized these were simply natural hunters, perfectly adapted for pitch-black life. Robison had called the video creepy but scientific. Lunston highlighted the walking fins and color shifts, blue juveniles turning into red adults. Thanks to these ROV missions, scientists now had real footage, no more relying on dusty old specimens. And what they had been seeing, stranger than anyone had imagined. Number 1. Lost City Hydrothermal Field, Atlantic. Last stop, a place so strange it could have rewritten life's origin story. In December 2000, aboard RV Atlantis, scientists had stumbled on towering white spires rising from the seafloor on the mid-Atlantic ridge. They called it the Lost City Hydrothermal Field. 30 towering carbonate chimneys, some nearly 60 meters tall, spewed alkaline fluids between 40 and 90 degrees Celsius. The cause? A reaction called serpentinization. Seawater met mantle rock, producing hydrogen and methane. No magma involved. Follow-up expeditions had mapped 3.3 square kilometers and confirmed the field had been active for at least 120,000 years. But what truly blew minds was the life inside. Methane-producing archaea, bacteria living inside chimney walls, and bizarre creatures, snails, bivalves, shrimps, tube worms, corals. Occasionally, even fish and sharks visited. Early headlines screamed, "Underwater Atlantis." But scientist Deborah Kelly had set the record straight. This was a natural, thriving ecosystem, not a lost city. More importantly, it offered clues to life's beginnings. Hydrogen and methane from rocks, ingredients that might have fueled life on early Earth. So, what do you think is still hiding beneath those endless waves? Lost civilizations? Creatures no one's even imagined yet? Or forces of nature we can't explain? One thing's for sure, we've barely scratched the surface. Hit that subscribe button if you want more dives into the unknown. And tell me this in the comments. Which one of these discoveries blew your mind the most? I'll be watching for your answers.